Apaxim lays there, disappointed. He used to be a Air Force officer in Iraq and Afghanistan. He later was moved to Dubai, Kuwait and Dubai. But he couldn't keep on working for, to make rich, Dick Cheney and the Muslims, the Saudi monarchs. And when he saw the wealth that they had and how his wife didn't even have money to pay for the mortgage, he was discouraged and disappointed. That's when the company approached him. The company, that's another way of calling the CIA, okay? That's Halliburton. And the motto of the company is, actually Dick Cheney invented this motto: shedding the blood of your children for corporate profit is our alma mater. He's a bit ruthless. And Mr. Cheney gave him a job as independent contractor. A spook, a CIA operative, Blackwater, a mercenary. He's working for the company, and he's making $250,000 now. And he can video conference his wife, and they are promise him, they're gonna raise his salary to $500,000. But then again, he sees that even though he's making a bunch of money, these guys that he's chauffeuring around Saudi Arabia and Dubai have far more money than them, and they treat him just like a chauffeur, man. And he's U.S. military officer and a CIA, and he's just treated as a security guard at a mall by all of these tycoons. So he cannot take it, and he decides to start the world revolution because he's fed up. And yes, the WikiLeaks, all the 250,000 cables, there's actually more that were revealed, the comunicados in between the State Department and different U.S. embassies. And of course, it's all the dirty business of drugs, how the U.S. embassies are the main place where legal drug transactions take place. So the U.S. Sends a bunch of dollars to infiltrate the economies of different nations in exchange for cocaine and pot and whatever. And they just give the presidents of the nations through the ambassador for that respective nation, like they did to Saddam Hussein or to Chavez or to the PRI, the Mexican current power, Gortari, one of the main capos. And it's just the oil cartel. It's just a lot of dirty deals, dirty corruptions. They are responsible for the assassination of JFK, for the assassination of 43 days after Reagan, John Paul II, and of course Pope Benedict. It's just very nasty fellows. But the same thing that happened with Moses. Moses tried to convince Pharaoh to let go, stop putting that yoke and burden over his people. And Pharaoh sort of like gave up, right? And let them go. No? But then he decided to persecute them again, and his kingdom died in a flood, submerged in the waters. Yeah, very obstinate. And like it's written, Pharaoh hardened his heart, and the Lord hardened it even more. what will be the outcome of this quarrel and struggle. A new nation taking over the staff, you know, a new world leadership, a new currency, a new economic system, where oil no longer holds all nations hostage and at the mercy of the unilateral price of oil in dollars. I say that we can use euros, we can use pesos, we can use whatever currency we decide to use, and we are not afraid to exterminations, executions, and yes, some may die, like, not oppose them, like Saddam Hussein and Chavez, and they might be blamed for being terrorists and having weapons of mass destruction, and they may plot a September 11 charade to inculpate the innocent. And they will falsely accuse the church and whomever you want. It's just a marketing wars. It's called a marketing wars because, after all, we're fighting a multinational corporation that has taken over the world. It's a coup. They took the world and established a coup d'etat, and they sat in the thrones as multinational corporate moguls, monsters. And it's time for us, for the people, to regain the power of the nations. And that's what Apaxim does, my character in my novel. And I recommend you to read it, because at the end, my Simón Bolívar becomes one of the bad guys. Okay, so I'm here at zero gravity, broadcasting from somewhere in the moon, okay? But don't tell anyone. This is Apaxim, the World Revolution warrior of the multi-dimensional